All right, again, you are welcome to One Place, One Voice. This is where Liberians meet other nationals around the continent of Africa to promote nothing but peace, love, and unity. That's all we promote. Tonight, I believe is going to be a great night because I got an awesome gentleman. He's a bishop, Dr. Uh, Cummings, Joshua Cummings. We have him on the line today. We have him into One Place, One Voice TV from New Jersey. So we're just gonna ask him. But Kwame, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
How's New Jersey? How's the weather?
Well, today what we have a rainy day.
Oh
Okay.
wow, wow! In New York City, man, it been raining the whole day. I'm telling you, the rain been coming down. From my end. It just been like crazy, crazy here. But you know what? We managed to get through the weather. That's very nice. So what's the temperature over there anyway?
Basically, it should be probably the well, I really do not have it on my screen here.
Okay, all right, that's fine. That's fine. That's fine.
Mhm.
Yeah, it's an awesome, awesome, awesome. We are very honored, to have you into the studio tonight. It's a pleasure to have you, into the studio, and we will be discussing few things. As you know, we have a current national issue that going on in Liberia. Everybody concerned. There is a country, the only country that we cannot be deported from. Even though we are in the diaspora, but our heart and tune are with Liberia and also our people, in Liberia, bishops, that one of the reasons why I call you tonight, so that you can share with the audience, your insight of how you see the country, and we'll also seek advice from you in terms of what can you tell the Liberians. There is a broadcast that will be shared with everyone, to just listen to it. Listen to Bishop. I know he's a man of God, for a very long time, and he is ready in the things of God, But we strongly believe, a lot of things lay on his mind to share with us tonight. So again, I will just give him a chance to just tell the audience, who he is, and then from there we'll go on a break, and when we come back, we'll go right into the program. Dr. Cummings, can you get tell the audience a little bit about you, sir? Thank you.
Well, God bless you. God bless you. And I want to say thank you for the opportunity that have been afforded. And I deem this a great, great, okay, honor. All right. And I'm a Liberian to begin with, born in the nation of Liberia, grew up in the nation of Liberia, and I went through the war in Liberia by the grace of God and was sustained by God's grace. Okay, in 1999, I left for Ghana. I left for Ghana in 1999. 2000, I came to the US. All right, 2000, I came to the US. And so hopefully by the grace of God, I have been in the US maybe close to 19, that's 19 years. All right, 19 years. And I'm married to my beautiful wife, Reverend Faith Rose Cummings. Okay, and God has blessed us with five beautiful kids: Divine, Joshua, Caleb, Joel, Destiny. All right, and who I got that right? Divine, Joshua, Caleb, Destiny, and Joel. All right, and I was born under the union of Mr. James Thompson Cummings. All right, that worked as the deputy director of training with the SSS in the Republic of Liberia at the executive marshal. And interestingly, it was my ambition, it was my goal to to walk in his footsteps, all right, by doing criminal justice and is possible becoming the director of the SSS, all right, by 1987. A friend invited me to a service, okay, at the Better World Outreach Ministry under the auspices of Bishop Dr. Dadison G. Johnson, all right, and when I attended that service, it was what I gave my life to Christ, probably around the age of 16 or so. I accepted Jesus into my heart, and I was schooled, I was mentored, I was tutored, all right, by Bishop Dadison Johnson. Then the war came in, and after the war, Reverend John Wickers Powers, Reverend M. Waldo Bennett, and Reverend Musa Coffin, all right, took over the ministry, and I was under their mentorship as well. And by the grace of God, I also graduated from the Moriah Bible Training Center, and which of course I was opportune to serve as the special assistant to the director at the time, okay, Apostle Moses Fuya, who is my spiritual father. All right, so by the grace of God, I have come a long way, close to 32 years now. Close to 32 years, I have been walking with Christ. All right, close to 25 years plus, I have been preaching the gospel of Jesus Christ. All right, and but moreover, I was born in Liberia. I grew up in Lakpasi. All right, I am a product. I am a resident of Lakpasi, a proud product of the Lakpasi community. You know, like somebody asks, can any good thing come from out of Nazareth? All right, and ultimately we know that out of Nazareth came the Savior, came the Messiah, came the deliverer, came, all right, the Savior of the world. And I am proud to say that something good have come from out of Lakpasi Matadi Estate. All right. There are a lot of good things, and I'm proud to be a part. I'm proud to be a part of those. All right, that God has elevated, God has lifted, okay, from that community. Amen. Currently, I serve as the general overseer of the worldwide reaping ministry that I took over from my late brother, the late Reverend Lincoln Cummings, Evangelist Lincoln Cummings. All right, we have the worldwide reaping ministry in the U.S. We have it in Liberia, and at the same time, we also have a global network where we also reach other nations. Okay, hosting revival, hosting or seminars, leadership conferences. And by the grace of God, God has been very great, very good, very faithful to me and my family and the ministry as a whole. Okay, but it's a pleasure again. It's a great honor, all right, being on the One Place, One Voice TV. So, my brother James, it's a great pleasure. I want to say thank you for having me.
Wow.
God bless you.
Yeah, we are so grateful to have, to be honored to have you at one place, one voice, where Liberians are heard over the entire continent. Bishop, is an honor, and I also want to take this time to give many thanks to our audience. Because I always know one thing. The reason why I love to recognize our audience, because without you, there's no show. And today's a blessed day. We want to very, very highly honor Bishop Dr. Joshua Cummings for tuning into One Play, One Voice for New Jersey. We are very honored, to really have such a wonderful man. Our country, Liberia in West Africa, we are focused tonight on the national issue that going on, and that's one of the reasons why we reach out to Bishop. We believe for his inspiration because in the old days when there's war, when there's conflict, the men of God, they came in with wisdom, and they share, with the world, what they believe and what they know. So I thought it wise, inviting Dr. Joshua Cummings on his show because I strongly believe from his wisdom, our people uh, might listen and they might follow certain guideline or instruction from him, that we can come together, as brothers and sisters, forgetting our political differences, forgetting the struggle in Liberia, just so that we can be able to move forward in trying to build the motherland, the land of our origin, Mama Liberia in West Africa. So we want to say thank you so much, Bishop, for that nice introduction. But folks, do not go nowhere. Just stay tuned in. Right after this break, we will be here, and I can guarantee you, we're gonna have almost an hour and some minutes show tonight. And I believe when you tune in, you're going to have a great time. Again, stay tuned. We will be right back. Again, folks, you are tuned into One Place, One Voice. There is where Liberia and the other nationalities around the continent of Africa to promote nothing but peace, love, and unity. Tonight, we have Bishop Dr. Joshua Cummings, into One Place, One Voice. We have him to just go through some discussion in regards to the country, Mama Liberia. Especially, we have so many national issues. We need people like Dr. Cummings to come in because it's a lot going on. We're hearing a lot of stuff around. There's protests coming. Some people say we should have a dialogue. And then I heard Dr. Cummings that the Church of Council that's supposed to play a major role in Liberia. They failed the country. I also heard that people went to President George Manawia. The Church of Council, including the Muslim, the Muslim community went to George Weah, they discussed. Some say George Weah gave them some brown envelope, so they are calling on the Council of Patriarchs, not to, have protests in the country, and the chairman Costa, he feels like why they should go and have meeting with President George Weah, and there was a brown envelope given. So when they serve them letter, he gonna tear. I mean, there's so much going on in Liberia, Bishop. I think that's why we need a man of God to come, to intercede, to convene in our situation, So it is very important. You know what I mean? So as a bishop, how do you visualize Liberia in West Africa in this current situation? What can you say? How do you visual when you sit back to where you are, Bishop, and you preach the word of God? I mean, how do you see Liberia? Thank you.
Now, from my understanding, all right, any nation or an individual that have a glorious destiny, all right. Now, often at times, the fulfillment of God's intent, plans, and purpose concerning a nation or an individual often at times does not just come on a silver platter. All right. The fact that God has a good intent or plan and a purpose for that nation or individual ultimately the enemy will vehemently, fight and oppose and do everything they can to sabotage or to suppress or put such a nation under oppression, where they won't have the ability to maximize their full potential. And I strongly believe that Liberia have a great destiny. And it's the reason why I believe that a lot of things have been going on in Liberia, a lot of things have been taking place, all right, in the nation of Liberia. But I strongly believe that Liberia have a brighter tomorrow. Liberia have a brighter future. I strongly believe that there is a place within the League of Nations that God is taking the nation Liberia to. All right. But like I said again, the enemy will do everything in their might and ability or capability to make sure, right, that the nation does not rise. Now, being fully aware of the intent, plans, and purpose of the enemy concerning the nation, I think that's where we as Liberians, all right, it is very vital that we as Liberians come to that place of understanding that if Liberia must go forward, if Liberia must achieve its God-given intent, plans, and purpose, all right, it cannot be done, it cannot be fulfilled, it cannot be accomplished without us coming together as Liberian with a singleness of thought, purpose, and undiluted focus, or an undiluted mindset. That if Liberia must go forward, we are the one that's going to take it forward. All right. But so to your question, I believe within Africa, all right, Liberia has a great destiny. Liberia has a great future. So I believe it is not how long, but I believe at God appointed time, okay, Liberia will become what God has destined her to be. Okay. Okay. Just give me a moment. Let me fix my lighting system, please. Just a moment. I'm sorry for that. Okay. Thank you. Sorry. Yeah, so I hope I answer your question.
Thank you so much, Dr. Cummings, for that beautiful and wonderful question, that you just, responded to, the next question that I have for you, Dr. Cummings, do you think protest is needed in Liberia at this time? And if yes, why? If no, why? Because, I mean, it concerns every Liberians. Before you even answer the question, Doctor, I just want to say this. We had a broadcast where we were asking some question. Even people that live in the diaspora send money back home in Liberia. I mean, it's so complicated to receive money. More than three people that I had an interview with confirmed the same thing. There got to be some kind of truth there. So it becoming very complicated. Besides the economy being down, there's so many conflict. So do you think at this time, protest is needed? If not, what do you think? Thank you.
Well, in regards to the money, okay, I just sent the money to Liberia, and whoever I send the money to receive exactly what I send them. They receive exactly what I sent them.
Wow.
All right. I know at an appropriate time, at a specific time, there was a little issue with that. Okay, but I think things have come to certain level of stability. All right. And from my perspective, from what I sent. Now, do I support the protest? Now, constitutionally, it is the right of Liberians to protest. All right. So when it comes to Liberians protesting, expressing their concern, what they think, what they believe, probably the government is not doing, all right, that the government need to revisit it. The government need to probably take certain immediate action and so forth. Now with that, I have no problem with that, okay, because that's a constitutional right. But you see, when they come to the aspect, when it comes to the aspect of protesting, and where on that day of the protest, if the government or the president do not adhere or respond to whatever public petition that was given and what of you, they are going to do everything they can to make sure that the president come down. All right. Just that statement that the president should come down. For me personally, I do not support that. All right. I do not support that. And why? What's my reason? Now, this is it. You know, during the time of the election in Liberia, for me, I live in the diaspora, I do not live in Liberia. You have various candidates that was attesting, various candidates that were pursuing, all right, such a prestigious position. You have Cummings, you have others. Others said Cummings, Alexander Cummings, based upon his experience, based upon his resume, was the best person to lead the nation, Liberia, at the time. And some Liberians, especially the masses rather, came up and said, we do not know Cummings. Where have he been? All right. And it said because it is election time, he's surfacing, he's showing himself to prove what? We rather the one that we know. We rather the one that have been here for us or that have been here with us. So if you look at the ratio of those that voted the current president into power, okay, the percentage was very high. So if the percentage was very high, then it also tells me that the people have spoken. And the person they felt was the best or that had certain level of competency or ability or capability to serve within that capacity, all right, was the one through the ballot box that they put into power. So if he came into power through the ballot box, then it also tells me that if there are certain things probably he's doing that you do not love, all you need to do, I'm not saying you cannot voice out or express whatever remorse, whatever concern that you have, because it's your constitutional right as a Liberian. All right. So I am not saying that you cannot say the government is this, the government is that, or do whatever it is. But when you come to the protest and when you say that the president must step down, if he do not step down, we will not leave the street. Now, if you say such, then we see what we call pattern. Okay, the same pattern that we saw that brought the 1990 war. Okay, that brought in the 1990 war, that the monkey should step down. If he do not step down, by all means, we're going to do everything we can to make sure he steps down. Now, in the process, they were coming for what they described as the monkey. Okay, the former president, Sameke Do. But not knowing that it was not just Samuel Doe that was going to bear the full consequences or the devastating damage, all right, that the revolution, okay, was getting towards. And at the end of the day, 200,000 plus Liberians lost their life simply because of political greed, simply because someone felt that they were the best, they had the answer. Someone felt that if they come into power, ultimately they will. All right. Probably take the nation to a higher level of social prosperity and so forth. But at the end of the day, like the saying goes in Liberia, when two elephants fight, it is the grass that suffer. All right. It is the grass that suffer. And in reality, we saw the devastating effect and damage that was done to the grass. All right. Where our people suffer through starvation, where our people die through diverse kinds of pestilence. All right. Where there was a mass infrastructure or damages or destruction. So the same pattern that we saw in 1990 is the same old pattern that we are seeing. Now, I want to get this across. If you look at 1990, whatever happens in the nation Liberia, it all started from in the diasporas. All right. It all started from within the diasporas, Liberians abroad in Philadelphia. All right. In Philadelphia and one or two other states in the US. Well, the one that came together was the one that supported what at the time that took place in the nation of Liberia.
Wow.
And we are seeing the same trend. We are seeing the same pattern.
Right.
All right. People sit in the US, all right, sit in the US in, I mean, yeah, basically they sit in the US and they orchestrate things, okay, back home. Now, but you see, people, when pushed up, it is very easy for them to depart. But the people in the nation, they have nowhere to go. Our people back home, they have nowhere to go. All right. So based upon the same pattern, I strongly believe protest is not bad. That's their constitutional right. And it is also the constitutional right of every Liberian as well to also return back to the battle box.
That's right.
If he thinks he is not competent, he lacks the competency, he does not have the ability or the capability that is required, then what you need to do, grant him the opportunity to disprove himself, to prove himself wrong. But now, if you say in the space of 1.5 years, because this is not something that just started in the second year, right? Now, in the space of 1.5 years, if you are saying that what our predecessors or the previous leaders or presidents in 172 years did not fulfill, did not accomplish, never had the ability, all right, to bring the nation, especially to such level of status. Now, you cannot say that what all those leaders failed to accomplish within 100 and some more years, you expect this leader to do in the space of 1.5 years time. All right, which of course is impossible. So what I think the current president needs is time, right? What he needs is time. But I think it is too premature.
Hmm.
I think it is too premature to rise up time,
Wow.
demanding that the president should step down. And another point I want to get across, we have what we call the patriarch, right?
That's right.
We have the patriarch, which is the opposition. We also have the CDC. Is that CDC?
Yeah,
Yeah.
CDC is a ruling party.
Okay, the ruling party.
That's right.
You have the opposition, you have the ruling party. But now you also get to discover that the opposition, there's a possibility it could be more in numbers when it comes to the opposition. So I strongly do not believe I have the deep level of conviction within me. I personally do not believe that the ruling party, the person that might not come to the forefront, the person that might not come on air and say this, but I personally do not believe that the ruling party will fold their hands and sit back and allow the will of the opposition to prevail or come to fruition or fulfillment on the silver platter. Where the president will step down and say, today I'm no longer the president of the Republic of Liberia. And one thing you guys should also understand in Africa, African democracy is different from the democracy in the West.
That's right.
It's different from the democracy in the West. All right? So I believe there are better means, there are better ways, there are better media through which I believe the opposition can go about educating the general public. Now, whatever petition that was presented to the government, I think on June 7 or so forth, as they said, they presented it to the government. All right. Now, from June 7 up to this time, what I personally anticipated, okay, was to see opposition coming to the general public. Now, within our petition, these are points. And these points that we have come up with, these are reasons why we believe that this president is incompetent. He lacked the competency. Now, you have three categories of people. You have the middle class, the upper class, the middle class, and the lower class. So whatever that was presented in the petition, you should be able to dissect it in a way where both the upper, middle, and lower class, from an analytical point of view, will listen to you and say, I think we see sense in what they are saying. Okay, I could be wrong. I follow social media. I'm on Facebook. Okay, I have not yet seen where the opposition will really come down and sell the vision. But what I see more on social media is insult. Yeah, it's insult. What I see more on social media from the opposition is a deep level of anger and hatred. All right. What I see on social media, you see, you cannot call off fire with fire. It's impossible. It's impossible. You cannot call off fire with fire. So if you think the president is not competent, listen, there are legal means by which you can go about settling these things. Example, in the US now, through the judicial system, they are talking about impeachment. They're talking about impeachment of President Donald Trump. But what are they doing? Are they protesting? They are not protesting. Okay? Are they going into the street and say, Donald Trump, you must step down. If you do not step down, we will not leave the street. No. They are not doing that. Why are they not doing that? Why are they not doing that? Because anyone that is number one letter, anyone that is school, anyone that have a mental, a strong mental capabilities will be able to sit and analyze things, look at the pros and look at the cons. All right. So if you just take one approach, if you do not do this, you should step down. But what if I do not step down? What if the president do not step down? What are they going to do? Are they going to go to the mansion and bring it down by force? Are they going to go to his house and bring him down by force? Okay. So the reason why I do not believe and I do not embrace and I do not accept this whole aspect of the president must come down, because I know the end result. I know the end result. And if I'm wrong, right? If I'm wrong, I think you serve in the police department, right? Of the city of New York.
Definitely, that's right, 100%.
Okay, you serve in the police department of the city of New York. And by the grace of God, I also serve within the police department of the city of Philadelphia, precisely the 18th district.
Wow.
I serve as a chaplain within the police department of the United States of America, precisely Philadelphia.
Wow.
And you and I, we are fully aware that the sole purpose of the police department or the police force is to protect life and property. All right, is to protect life and property. So in the process of public safety, now there are demarcations, there are borders, there are boundaries that are set by the police. Okay, if you want to march, we have no problem with that. We give you the security that you need. Yeah, we give you the security that you need. We make sure that you guys are secure while you are protesting, like they did during June 7th. Right? But if you choose to abort what is known as a peaceful protest, all right, and come to the point where you say it's a must that the president come down, I also want you to understand it is the responsibility of the police force or the security apparatus to make sure that the security, the well-being, and the safety of the president come number one. Why? Because he's the first, they are the first family in the nation. And if anything happened to the president, the police force will be held liable. Yes, they will be held liable for not adequately performing the task in terms of the protection of the president and their family. All right. So you see, there are a lot of things involved, but some of them are just looking at it from one perspective. They are just looking at it from one angle. If you do not step down, we will not leave until you step down. Now, another point I want to make it right. And the reason I'm taking more time on this because it is very vital. Yeah. Now, another point when you come to this whole march, okay, I rather do not know that those political leaders that are orchestrating this march on the day of the march, I rather do not know whether they themselves, their wives, their children, all right, will be at the forefront of this march. So if you, your wife, your children is not at the forefront of this march, why should you put other children in harm's way? Now, if you put other children in harm's way, let's say probably there's a casualty where somebody lost their life or somebody got injured. Number one, the one that lost their life, are you Or have you set aside a budget, okay, where you will be able to compensate the family for the demise of the loved one? Or if someone get injured, somebody's son or daughter or child get injured on that day because you chose to put them in the street, will you be able to shoulder the medical expenses? All right. And another aspect, right? Every structure you see, every build. Listen, I'm telling you the reason why I do not support this. I'm telling you the reason why I do not support this protest.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Now,
Yep.
every structure begins with a blueprint.
So true.
Every structure that is erected, it begins with a blueprint. That this whole protest have a blueprint where the very political leaders focus and they share ideas, they brainstorm. All right, they share ideas, they brainstorm, and they feel there's a reason why we need to do this. There's a reason why we need to do this. All right, and they put all the plans together. They structure it very well. They organize it very well. Okay, but you see, with such a blueprint and with such a structure, what is the motive behind it? What do you want to attain, achieve, fulfill, and accomplish? What is your aim? What is your objective? Because I want to believe aimlessly, you won't just put anybody on the street. Yeah, aimlessly, you won't just put anybody on the street. All right, probably you will say because the people are suffering. There is no jobs opportunity. All right, but also to remember, this is not the only regime. People are not paid on time. Remember, this is not the only regime. Okay, or presidency that have been through such. Okay, if you choose to advocate, it's good. It's a good thing on behalf of the people. And I listened to Coast Guy rather yesterday from the start to the beginning. Okay, and he make that a very good. He gives a lot of good points. All right, he gives some lot of good points where he's fighting. All right, or the whole revolution is all about the people, and which is a very good thing. But how well have you schooled? How well have you schooled the people that you are putting on the street? Okay. How well have you ready schooled them? How well have you ready or probably gathered them? Because it's not everybody on social media. It's not everybody you put on the street that has cell phone. Okay, so if they are for party headquarters, when last have you ever called them together as a group and you educate them and you school them? Even when it come to certain morals or behavior as to how they should carry themselves. Now it should not be on the day of the protest you will tell them, say, you're doing it this way, you're doing it that way. No. In advance, because this whole protest have been playing almost 6 months now. Okay. 6 months now, okay. It have been playing. So I believe they should have been taught, they should have been schooled, they should have been educated about the whole in advance. All right. But again, like I said, I do not know tomorrow. There is nobody that is viewing this broadcast that knows tomorrow. It is only God that knows tomorrow. It is only God that knows whether it's a positive or the negative impact that this whole protest is going to have. So since we are not God to see into the tomorrow, to see into the future, I think it is vital to take every necessary precaution.
That's right.
Yeah, take every necessary precaution. All right, come at the table. If you presented a petition to the government and the government have not yet responded to you, what can you do? Take the government to court. Go through the judicial system. That's why you have law and order within the nation. That's why you have the court system within the nation.
Hmm.
All right. And give the Supreme Court judge or justice, chief justices, the opportunity to look at your petition, look at, okay, whatever allegation that you have brought against the government, give them the opportunity. But if you do not give them the opportunity and you choose to take the law in your hand because you have a constitutional right, again, like I said, that's a constitutional right. But there are certain borders, there are certain boundaries you cannot cross.
Hmm.
Any boundary and border that you cross that will jeopardize, because it's not everybody that is your partisan. It is not everybody that is of this protest or that in favor of the protest. Okay, so like I said again, it's the responsibility of the security forces to make sure others that are not a part, also properties and life are also secure as well.
Wow.
All right,
Thank
so
you.
I think
Thank you so much, Dr. Cummings. That was the voice of our Bishop, Dr. Joshua Cummings, speaking from New Jersey, concerning the covering issue in Liberia, giving his insight and wisdom, through the Liberian people, because I believe he is a child from the soil. He reside in the great America, and he believed that the protests. He already believed in the protest, and he gave a justifiable reason why he don't believe in the protest. I mean, when he gave the reason, I kind of saw some deep wisdom in it. One thing he said I want to just quote here tonight. Dr. Cummings also said, if you have a protest, everything you do in life, for the matter, requires a blueprint. A blueprint. And he went on to say one thing that the Cummings are concerned when I analyze his statement in regards to the protest that is heading off for December 30th, he talked about lives. You know, he pointed out, and I quote, he said, "Oh, are you prepared when one soul is loose that was created by God? Do you have something put in place? To be able to satisfy the family. Those are deep insight. I didn't see it that way. To me, it is so deep. Like if you're planning something to do, if you want to have protests, despite whatever motive behind the protest, but are you prepared? To bring back that soul that will get lost into the protest. And when I further analyze, he respond to why he don't believe that protest is necessary at this time. He also said something very deep. He said, "Oh, having a protest is one thing to have a protest, but he really emphasized on the soul that will lose." And then he said, I quote, he said, "Those are preparing the protest. The question he challenged them with, are you prepared to bring your family at the forefront to have such a protest in Liberia?" And he believed if you're not prepared to bring your family, your children, to protest in Liberia, then why encourage other families to get on the street? I think, from his statement in regards to why he don't believe a protest should be in Liberia, I found logic in it. As a broadcaster and also serving as a politician, I also see reason why, for him not believing that protest is necessary at this time. Now,
my brother,
go ahead,
my brother
Dr.
Jim,
Cummings. Yes, go ahead.
let me just inject it because I believe we might not have this forum again.
Sure, no problem. Go ahead.
Okay, let me just inject this. Now, During the 1990 war, 200,000 plus lost their life. Now, I am not fully inclined as to how many thousand lost their life during the Ebola crisis. Okay, how many more of our people we are waiting to see losing their life? Okay, how many of our people we are waiting to see losing their lives? Number two, if I tell you that Sister A lack the competency, I should be able to present Sister B to you. All right. So if the president steps down, who have you guys presented to the public? Who have you guys actually thought about that you think have the competency, the capacity, and the capability within a shorter period of time, within the space of a year, all right, to bring the nation to that place of permanence? I have not seen anybody that have been presented, but logically, you know that if the president steps down, ultimately it's the vice president, all right, that comes next. It's the vice president that comes next. Now, in the first place, the international community has a problem with the vice president because of her tie with the former warlord, Justin. So, what makes you think when the vice president takes power, the international community is going to pump millions and billions of dollars into the Republic of Liberia to support the vice president? Number two, have the vice president consented? Has the vice president consented to maybe an offer given to her by the patriarchs? That if the president steps down, you are the one we believe that has the competency to take over the nation. After the vice president, what is the minister of state, right? Yeah, it's the minister of state. Right. So if you do not have anyone to present to the public to say if the president stepped down, this is the one that we believe. And secondly, we are not going to encourage interim government. All right. We are not going to encourage interim government. Why? Because interim government bring the nation to the place of either stagnation or regression. There is nothing like an elected leader. There is nothing like an elected president. All right. So we should be talking about how we can force the nation ahead. What can we do? All right, to make sure that Biro achieve his or her dream, goal, fulfill or God-given ambition, not ambition rather, or God-given dream, and what have you. How can we come together in unity, in unison, in one accord, to brainstorm, to dissect certain things, analyze certain things, all right, and see how best we can solicit around this president. What he might not have the competency according to you. But if you look at most corporations, right, most entity, it is not everything within those corporations that the CEO knows. So what do? Since I lack competency in this area, I bring someone or technocrat. Yeah. What they do, they employ technocrats, people that are specialized in a specific area to come, people that they know that are competent to fulfill and accomplish certain things. So they bring those people, okay, in the picture, And do you know what? Because those people are paid well, what do? They make sure they promote the ideology, okay, of the CEO. And as the company prosper, they give them raise. As the company prosper, there are allowances that they give them. Okay, there are benefits that they receive as well. And I also want to say this to also tell you their failure not to fulfill or their failure to allow those companies to lose instead of gaining a warrant the dismissal. Okay, warrant the dismissal because we should be going forward and not digressing or not digressing. I like to also put to the government is vital as well. There are certain people that people are sinking, crying every day. This person does not have the ability. And what if you put the right for people, put those that are in have the ability, put those that have the ability in certain position, and with certain people that that do not have. It doesn't really matter if the person in your party they do not have the competency. Okay, do not allow parties, whatever it is. They say, okay, I'm going to put this person there because they are part of the party. At the end of the day, those are the same people that will damage your reputation.
Again, this is the voice of Dr. Cummings. I want to ask a question, Dr. Cummings. I understand, you are justified why you strongly believe that Liberians, Liberians shouldn't go into protest at this time. But again, on the other hand, looking at the economy sinking, and according to a lot of confirmation that I have in Liberia, that a lot of people are struggling in Liberia. Matter of fact, when you was giving a response of what you were just saying, I also just had Front Page Africa just flash me with with another blow to Liberia, saying that Liberia loses U.S. 15 million for road maintenance from the United States government. It's a big blow, and it went on to say that the Liberian government did not meet up with the compact agreement, so they lose that money for road maintenance. And we see in the economy, we see people are complaining. I understand, I respect what you said, that the Cummings, but how can you? So the situation we face now. People are complaining. There are other newscasters that have confirmed, that Liberia, the ruling party right now, a lot of corruption going on. So, and you are saying that there should be no protest. So at this current time, so what would be your advice to the nation? What can you tell the nation, even though that you believe that there should be no protest? With all the conditions, just now, not even 1 minute. Front Page Africa just flashed me and told that Liberia had lose such a money. So so yeah. So tell the audience your wisdom. So what Liberia should do at this time? If there should be no protest, what can we do? Is dialogue going to solve the problem? What can you say to that equipment? Thank you very much.
Yeah, but like I said, it is the constitutional right.
Hmm.
It is the constitutional right of Liberians to protest, and nobody have the ability to deprive them of that.
Very good.
It's the constitutional right. I repeat that.
Okay.
Constitutional right of every Liberian to protest.
Very clear.
Okay. But what are vehemently oppose is the ideology
Uh,
that the president must step down.
okay. Got it.
Yeah, that's
Got
what
it.
I oppose.
Got it. Got it. Got it.
Okay.
Got it.
When it comes to what you just said, Liberians do not believe in what we call expansion.
Mm.
So when I use the word expansion, I'm talking about mental expansion. Mental expansion. Example, probably somebody managed to graduate from the university. They got the associate or got the bachelor degree. okay, or probably a master degree, and they are placed in certain position. Now, the moment they are placed in that position, the spirit of contentment steps in. All right, the spirit of contentment steps in, where they believe they have achieved, they have arrived, they have come to a place where there is no need to expand the mental capability. All right. And if you can attest, when we were in school, let's say, let me use those days, physics, mathematics, chemistry books that they used in the 60s, 70s, the 80s, the 90s are not the books they are using today. Yeah, and not the books they are using today. The world is way ahead. Technology is way ahead. Knowledge, research methods, they are way ahead. But when we refuse to mentally upgrade ourselves, ultimately, we will find ourselves in certain situations that will lack the competency of handling. All right. Now, the way things are going now in the economy, I think one of the best approach is for our political leaders to put aside the pride. All right, is to put the pride aside. Because if I think I'm the best, I have the best ideology, I have the best IQ or know-how or knowledge when it comes to how to go about accomplishing certain things. Now, that mindset, if it is not me, then I withdraw. If it is not me, I'm not putting my hands in it. Now, when you have such competency and you choose to withdraw yourself, it is not the current government you are hurting. It is not the current government you are hurting. It is the nation as a whole. So what I think, you look at in Western world, you have Republican, you have Democrat, in other European nations, they have parties. But right after the election of those parties, they all come together. They put the differences aside. And they see what best they can do to forge not the party, but the nation ahead. What can I do to contribute? So, at time when I see other political leaders in Liberia neglecting the current government. All right. It's the saying we will sit because we know that they will feel miserably. Yeah, they will feel miserably. So we will not put our hands in anything. We will not use, okay, we will not use our experiences to help promote this current government. And often at times you find those things, especially in Liberia, because there are other African countries that are moving ahead. There are other African countries that are forging ahead. There are other African countries that are putting their political differences aside. Was it, I saw the video in one of these African countries, right? Where during the election, there were heated arguments that went on between the different political leaders. But what they did, they came on the bigger platform and said, look, if I say anything during this election, I mean, the politics is a dirty game. All right. If I say anything during this election, forgive me. The president took the lead. Forgive me. Other political people came. President, Mr. President, if I did anything, forgive me. And from today, let us all work in the interest of the people. All right. You see, because when you do that, do not forget every political leader that in the nation that are bigger, They have children. They have grandchildren. They have great grandchildren. They will have great grandchildren. So if you put your ego ahead, all right, and say, I'm not going to do this just because I want to see this president fielding in the next 6 years, when things do not happen, it is not the president, it is the nation that have failed, that you guys have failed. Okay, so I think the political leaders need to, because I remember one or two occasions, if I'm wrong, the president called an open forum. That come at okay, that come at the round table and discuss. There are ideas that you guys have I might not have. All right. So corporately, we can brainstorm, we can put ideas together and see how best we can push our nation ahead. Do you know why most of them refuse? I hope I'm not wrong.
No. You are right. You are very right. That Cummings.
Yes.
During the first protest, they had the president called a dialogue to have it. But that brings me to the next question of that Cummings. So then now I understand your point. You said when it comes to the protest, yeah, you make it very clear, and I'm so thankful that you gave that clarification. You only concerned when it comes to the president must step down, and he's a democratic, elected president in the city. But let me say this: there are a lot of people that are complaining around that the churches of councils or the councils of churches in Liberia, they have done nothing. So what is your view towards that?
My personal view is the council of churches have not been proactive.
Good, good.
Okay. Because myself, I've been pondering for some time.
Hmm.
Okay, with all that I'm hearing in the nation Liberia, what is the role of the church?
Hmm.
What is the role of the church? What level of intervention the church have made when it comes to the whole protest? Right. So I have already been looking forward to. Well, I've been hearing rather basically I've been hearing that the church have been taking certain actions and whatever, but I'm not in Liberia. Everything that we see in the diasporas is through social media. Okay, it's through social media. Yes, I know that the church have taken our time to fast and pray and what have you. But when it comes to dialogue between the government and the opposition, I believe the church have not been proactive. Like I said, I listened to Hearing Koska rather. Yes, yesterday I came from out and I think you forwarded me the video. Yeah, you forwarded me the video. And I lied down on my bed. And I heard him talking, and it really pricked my heart. Why Liberia? Why this time around Liberia again? In the headline. Okay. Why Liberia in the headline again? For another what is unknown. Okay. Whatever that is going to happen during the day of the protest or days after. Okay. But when Henry Costa began to talk about pastors meeting with the president and what have you. Now, listen, for me personally, it was not wrong for the president to come to the church. Right? It was not wrong for the if what I heard on social media, if it is true. Listen again, I said if what I heard on social media is true. If the president came to the church and said, what have you guys been saying something? Or what have you guys been silent? concerning this whole issue or national issue or whatever that is going on in the nation. All right. I believe the president was not wrong. I applaud him for that. Yes, I applaud him for that, for acknowledging and recognizing the spiritual leaders within the nation. Okay. But what I think, the church was not proactive. They should have taken the lead. They should have gone to the president. Mr. President, we have been hearing about this whole protest. Okay. I mean, what is your mindset concerning this? If the president gave his mindset, okay, then you now, as spiritual leaders, come in and give your divine wisdom and counsel and knowledge as to how, all right, the government and the opposition, I mean, can have the opportunity to dialogue. And also understood Henry Koska, and yesterday as well, why should the council of churches, after meeting the president, why now you see a fit to say you are coming to call a meeting for us to meet? What happened yesterday? A few months ago. Yeah, a few months ago. Why you never took such initiative? Yeah. Why you never took initiative? Why now? After the president called you, is now you want to bring us to the table. And we believe the time is short for that. Because and it's something I was planning 6 months ago. 6 months was a sufficient time. If you guys had come up 4 months ago, if you guys had come up 5 months ago, or maybe 4 or 3 months ago, ultimately, we won't be where we are today. And I reasoned with him. Okay. But my personal advice to Henry Koska is, no matter whatever it is, do not allow your emotion to get a hold of you to dishonor the elders of the land. No matter whatever mistake they made, tearing or letter that is written, okay, coming publicly on air, tearing whatever letter they read you, that's an insult. That is an insult to the spiritual authority within the land. And whenever you do such, you are not dishonoring them, but the God they represent. All right. So I personally will not advise you to tear any letter that they write to you. Accept it. But within your acceptance, you also have the legal right to choose whether or if you will concur, okay, or whether you will reject. That's your choice. But they say I'm going to tear the letter. Okay, wisdom will tell you, all right, it is not the rightful approach. All right.
Wow.
You see, there are people that hear you here in Costa, there are people that celebrate you, there are people that believe in what you are doing. All right. But at the same time, too, I encourage you to walk in a higher level of wisdom as well, as to how you handle things, as to how you approach things. All right. And especially when it comes to issue with the spiritual leaders. Yet, though they were not proactive, remember they are human as well. Okay. Probably they might not or were not thinking, and probably in such direction.
Hmm.
All right. But stay uphold and give them the honor and respect that should be accorded. That should be accorded unto them. Because if you read the Bible also tell you that God told Moses, do not marry this person. Do not marry from this tribe. Do not cross border. And Moses crossed border. The crossing of the border of Moses was wrong from an ethical point of view. It was a disobedience to God by his as a whole. All right, it was a disobedience to God. But do you know what? It was not the responsibility of Aaron and Miriam to judge Moses. It was not their responsibility. And they decided to dishonor Moses, God's servant, God's anointed. But do you know what? Even in the midst of his error, even in the midst of his mistake, God defended him. God defended him. And God told Miriam, no, it's not your responsibility to judge him. You are not the one that called him. You are not the one that ordained him. I was the one that called him. I'm the one alone that have the ability to chastise him. And because of you playing my function and role, the Bible says leprosy came upon her. The only reason was Aaron never suffered the consequence that Miriam suffered because Aaron was a prophet. All right, Aaron was a prophet. So as a prophet or man of God, we have the responsibility to talk correct and correct each other. But if you are not in that capacity, right, it becomes detrimental. It becomes very harmful to you if you choose to go against. So in a much, I do not like the step that the spiritual leader took by not being proactive. At the same time, I will not support you abusing them, insulting them publicly. Okay, so my personal advice to you is to be able to accept whatever letter they give unto you. All right, talk with your other political leaders. Remember, you are not the only brain. There are other brains that are behind the whole thing. Talk with your other political leaders. If they say we cannot meet with them, okay, that's your decision. You put the letter aside and tell them, say, we're sorry, it is late. If you can meet, okay, you'll find time. But apart from that, I will not advise you to tear any letter.
That
Okay.
was the voice of Dr. Bishop Dr. Joshua Cummings, just trying to give advice to Henry Costa. Mr. Costa, I hope you're listening to the broadcast coming to you live from One Place, One Voice in discussion with Bishop Dr. Joshua Cummings from New Jersey. He said the areas of the land, it is not a good thing, to receive a letter from them, and just tear it up publicly. He said that you will be doing it to the gods that they serve. So he advised to you, Mr. Henry Costa, not to do such. Want to give thanks to our Dr. Cummings tonight. The time now is 10:29. We're going to give him next 4 5 minutes to just do a closure. In that closure, maybe he will be giving advice to Liberia and giving some prediction, of what expect to happen. So you're going to hear from him, and I hope we all as Liberians can take this advice, from this broadcast. Dr. Cummings, in closing the broadcast, what advice do you have for your nation, the country of your origin, where you came from to where you are? What is your advice? Because this is going to serve as a history and it's also going to serve as a record. I strongly believe people will revisit this broadcast and they're going to listen to your advice after December 30th. So, for the next 4 or 5 minutes, briefly tell your country the advice you got for them. Thank you.
Well, my fellow Liberians, I want to say thank you for granting me the audience, all right, to listen to this broadcast. And let me just read something for you, which I think and believe is the best and should be the best approach as Liberians that we should be taking, but that we should be taking right now. In the book of First Timothy, chapter 2, if I would say, first of all, then I urge that petition, that is specific request, petition, prayers, intercession, that is praying for others, and thanksgiving be offered on behalf of all people. All people means the inhabitants of the land, right? For kings, for kings, and all who are in position of high authority. So in our dispensation, king here represent the president. And all those who are in high authority, so that we may live a peaceful. I want you to listen to this. So that we may live a peaceful and a quiet life in all godliness and dignity. So the prerequisite to living a peaceful and a quiet life is looking up to our Maker, looking up to Him as our help or present help in whatever challenges, whatever situation we are facing within the nation. Now, listen, politics has a part to play, right? But politics, above politics, there is only one supreme power that has the ability to turn the tide in the favor of the people. There is only one supreme power that has the divine capability to eradicate and to eliminate every form of negativity within the nation, whatever the enemy has destined for Liberia. There is only one person that has a supreme authority, a supreme power above the powers of the enemy, and that is the God himself. Amen. So if we can call upon him, if we can look up to him, if we can pray for each other, then ultimately, according to this scripture, we will live a peaceful life and a quiet life in all godliness. So I want to encourage the church, every family, to pray than ever before. Seek the face of God for divine intervention. You see, one man is not competent of fulfilling, doing, and accomplishing. God does not like the competency. You have the capability, you have the ability, all right, to favor the nation Liberia. And I strongly believe that if we can look up to God, he will make the impossible possible. Now we are seeing in other nations, even in our own nations, all right, through political parties, through political leaders, we have seen the devastating effect that it have had on our nation and other nations around the world. So I think the best way out is to dialogue. The best way out is to pray, is to fast, is to trust God. And I believe if we do such, then I strongly also believe that God now will endow our leaders with the capabilities, with the divine strategies, with the divine ideas that is required to force the nation ahead. All right. In closing, like Solomon, Pray, Lord, give me wisdom that I might lead your people. So Solomon knew that through his philosophical know-how, all right, through his philosophical know-how, it would have been impossible for him to just fully and surely depend upon that. So he knew that with all the help of God, the reign would have been a failure. Okay, Liberia will be a failure if we do not look up to God. If we look up to men, Christ is any man that put the trust in the arm of the flesh, because the arm of the flesh is a human. They are flesh and blood, they can kill you. But if we all put our trust in God, then the supernatural ability of God will come upon the natural abilities of our leaders. And when the supernatural ability of God comes upon the natural ability, his supernatural ability will transfigure the natural ability. And what they could not do through the natural ability, they will begin to fulfill and they will begin to achieve. And at the end of the day, the nation will rejoice. Okay, so Brother James, I want to say thank you for the opportunity afforded me. I do esteem and appreciate it. May God bless you. May God bless your family. May God bless the work of your hands. Whatever you do, may God cause you to prosper. In Jesus' name.
Amen, amen, amen. Doctor, coming before you leave, I just want to say this. It's been an honor, to just receive you into the studio that have turned into a very big network. I mean, it is not like you said one thing that touched me. It is not uh, by our power, but is God do things for a reason. When you state the word in a quote, Liberians will be a failure if we do not look up to God. I think that was deep. That was very deep. And my fellow Liberians watching from all over, whether be which state, UK, Europe, or England, wherever we are, uh, you know, on this earth. I think Dr. Cummings said something that I just want to use that last to emphasize that last statement. Liberians, will be a failure if we don't look up to God. I think it's deep, Liberians, my fellow Liberians. I think it's about time that we put our political struggle, political differences aside, to come together. And one thing I want to say before our bishop leave tonight, people ask me, well, Mr. Nguyen, why you do this, and nobody, you don't get paid for it. It's not about pay. It's about, well, you value him on, and you want to do something, tangible while you live, because you never know. You could enter that door, and right there, that's it. And what have you done? It's about the impact. I've been watching that Cummings for a very long time. He is very committed to what he does. And I strongly believe that God is really, really blessing him. And I just want to say this before he leave. And that what he has to offer to the nation of Liberia is up to us. My fellow Liberians, we have come a long way. I mean, I was in Liberia, the war came, the war finished. I witnessed, people was killed, even a family. I mean, mothers, fathers, right before that family, they were killed right before me. We saw these things in Liberia. Over 250,000 souls. We lose them. My fellow Liberians, I brought the bishop tonight for a reason. Let us find reason. I understand we may have our political differences, whatever it is. The country is going what they're going through right now. But again, that equipment have said so many things here tonight that I hope you got. Because for me, I got it. You know, one thing he said to the planners of the protest, he is not saying that protest shouldn't be held in Liberia. That's why I re-asked the question to be very clear. But he is just saying that when we say this president must step down, my fellow Liberians, let us remember where we came from. 14 years of war was yesterday. We lose souls. Followed by the Ebola crisis came. We lose souls. Why? Why can't we come together to talk about our differences? And that's why I want to use this platform To whoever hearing me, this platform will be converted to YouTube version, and I believe Dr. Cummings is going to share it around with friends and families and other witches. Let us. I think it's about time. After hearing the doctor tonight, Dr. Cummings, you know, as a Liberian, for myself, coming from the soil of Liberia, I found reason to join him to say, you know what? I understand we're going through a lot. Yes, it could be a reason why. But he said, if Liberia will definitely be a failure if we do not look up to God. It seems to be we have forgotten where we came from. And the doctor continued to give a response, and I begin to analyze. He said one thing. He said the planners have families, they have children, you know. So he wondering here is, are they going to carry their children and family to the front line of that protest? Let us remember, Liberians, that we came from a long way. With that said, I just want to say, Dr. Bishop, we are very grateful on this platform that is leading in New York City. We are doing everything in our weak way to make sure that things go on, to sell our own story. We do not want to allow people to sell our story for us, and that was one of the reasons why this platform was created. One play, one voice, for us to have our voice into one place. I want to say thank you so much for contributing immensely to this platform, and it's an honor to have you tonight. Thank you so much, Dr. Cummings.
It's a great privilege as well.
Thank you very much, and I will speak to you soon. Thank you very much.
Okay, God bless.
Thank you.